Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and I went to the auto show this week. I looked at a bunch of vehicles. The vehicle we're going to be looking at today is the new Ford Expedition. This one is a Platinum. Before we get into the video, as always, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at this new Expedition. So, powertrain, first off. Twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 goes through a 10-speed, 400 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque. Now, if you get the Tremor or the Platinum, you get the high output, 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. This one is a Platinum with the, I think it's the Stealth package, is what it is called. And like the wheels, really cool looking with those. Nothing too fancy. Do have the red brake caliper. I think it's funny how sporty they're trying to make these mom SUVs. Right? They're adding the off-road packages. They're adding, you know, this Stealth package and all this stuff to make it look like it's a cool thing. It's like it's a mom car. It's for taking people around. I do get the off-road packages. The sport packages on these, yeah, it's just for looks. It's purely aesthetic. Now, the rear end, I'm not so sure about the two-tone. Let me know what you think about that. I think it looks kind of dorky. I think it would look better if they just did monotone on it. I'm not sure why they did that two-tone with this. Taillights look cool, though. And the other thing is they just redid the Expedition, so it's interesting that they're doing another refresh on it, but that's kind of what Ford does, just the American manufacturers in general. Now this is with the tailgate opened. The Expedition was locked, and there was a gentleman that was opening it every so often, and so I kind of had to just rush and get clips as I could. But yeah, you can see it closing. Automatic, you can stop it whenever you want, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's great to have. I have it on my Land Cruiser. Love it. So always a nice thing. And they're trying to make this more adventure-y, more off-roady, I guess, compared to before. Now here's the interior. I did have a chance to get a shot of it before I was almost locked inside. But you can see the window controls here. And blind spot wiring with the mirrors. Again, it's going to have a lot of modern safety tech you see in a lot of vehicles. And I do think that they brought the interior up a bit in the Expedition. Like, the material use is still normal, like cheap plasticky Ford, but it did look a bit nicer. The seats, for example, see all the adjustments there on the side. And again, some of the trim pieces, it feels a little bit more premium compared to before. It's not a huge step, but it is a step forward. You can see the drive line right there with the four-wheel drive system, drive mode too. So nice that they include that all in the same place. Two-spoke steering wheel, not so sure about that. That's kind of an interesting design cue. You got the buttons there. And I'm seeing a lot of influence from Lincoln, like that, the new Nautilus. So you can see the screen across the dash, just like the new Nautilus. So you're starting to see Ford go towards that. And they have the infotainment system basically down below, so double screen. Interested to see what that looks like while it's on in person. Got the little dial shifter. And yeah, very, very like low button, lots of tech. Ford and Chevy are both doing this. Now it's Jeep, Stellantis that are the ones that still have physical buttons. So interesting to see how that's kind of happening. You can slide that. That's what those buttons are for, to move the center console back and forth is what it looked like. It wasn't on. Good storage space in the center console. So good setup there overall. Nice trim, I would say. Seems like the fit and finish was pretty solid as well. And then the window sticker doesn't have pricing. It just kind of shows you the option list for the Expedition. So, better than nothing, right? Again, I'll have a full review in the future. But big center up top, of course. Kind of expected with a big family SUV. So yeah, it feels very, again, a lot of stuff from that I saw in the Lincoln Nautilus kind of carried over into this. And yeah, nice soft touch trim all over the door panel. Lots of stitching to kind of make it look a little bit fancier. But again, the material used, Ford's still using all the same kind of like plastics and everything they've used before, so it's not gonna, it looks a little bit nicer, but it not a huge departure in terms of like how the touch points actually feel. But good legroom there in the back. Again, it's full-size SUV. You can see the cup holders down there, climate controls, heated seats, so all the features you'd want for the rear passengers. And then captain chair's got the armrest. Quickly went into the third row for you guys, and this is where they like almost locked me in the car, which I thought was kind of funny. Not a big deal, but yeah, I mean, normal third row space. You can fit adults back there. That's why you get a full-size SUVs if you got to carry adults around, or if you got big kids. Got ventilation up there. So overall, they kind of just slightly improved the new Expedition. Let us set off in the Camry here. Toyota's hybrid sound is different depending on the car you're in. You think they just do uniform, but yeah, this sounds a little bit different than like I have a 250 Land Cruiser, and yeah, it sounds a little bit different. Comfortable seats. I'm gonna turn on the cooled seat. And I know that some of you might, does this say the temperature outside? Maybe it'll say it on the center screen here. Let's exit, I forgot. I didn't say the temperature. It's like 30 degrees outside. I decided today to wear a one of those like turtleneck zipper things, whatever you call them. And I'm used to wearing just like a thin shirt when it's 30 degrees outside. And so this actually having like some level of, I don't know, layer, I feel like it's too, oh, it's 41 degrees outside. I think it just feels hot. It just feels hot today. Like uncomfortably so. I feel like I need to be in shorts and a t-shirt right now. But seats are, like I said, seats are comfortable. I like this new Camry interior. I think it's pretty tight feeling. This is one of the few Toyotas that's built in the US that has like a feeling that is well built. The Tundra and the Sequoia, they like very plasticky and shaky and everything, but this feels pretty darn solid. Still not as good as the Japanese ones in terms of the builds, but still solid for a Toyota. Now this powertrain is very smooth. Very, very smooth. And it's got power. It's got plenty of power. Now the thing that I've been thinking about with these hybrids, because hybrids are becoming really popular in terms of the demand for them, and manufacturers are putting them in a bunch of vehicles. I think that hybrids are best in a car with an ECVT, because that's where you get the biggest benefit out of a hybrid. I'm saying this because I own a new Land Cruiser, and I really don't get better fuel economy than other big SUVs. But with this, having the ECVT and having the hybrid, this gets significantly better fuel economy than a car that's not like this. You look at a V6 powered Camry, you look at a, with the previous gen, V6 powered Camry or the 4-cylinder non-hybrid, and both of those were significantly worse with fuel economy than this. This is almost 50 miles per gallon. So you see a huge benefit in a car like this. And it works in, you know, stuff like the RAV4 works great.